Welcome. So, YouGlish. I want to show you 4 examples on here. So, about cookies on this site, I always hit accept. Nothing bad has happened. Okay, so YouGlish is a combination of YouTube and English, and it gathers videos, right, from YouTube, and it says it's for pronunciation, but it's even a lot more than that. So, I'll show you 4 examples. So, let's do it for pronunciation. Let's look at how do you. How do you say it? How do you say it? And you can see there's US, UK.
How do you think about navigating?
And Australia. So if you wanted to hear a different accent, you could choose one. We're going to do all. Look at how many videos there are. 78,478. It's really common. So what I do is I use this right here to just hear it and go to the next video. If you are interested in the video, you can keep watching it, but I'll show you how I like to use it.
Those different spaces?
Is that going to be on the test? How do you spell structural? Institutions all at once. How do you explain that change?
Recognize the world as it is, where it is, and figuring out how do you tack.
More optimistic than he was, about the same? Do you have a difference in view? How do you see Europe?
My own pace. People say, how do you read a book a day? Sometimes.
How do you get from connection to isolation?
At Oprah, how do you deal with the press? Because
So the question is, how do you want to feel?
So that gives you a really good example, right? When you're giving a presentation or something and you really want to emphasize with clarity, then you don't have to say, how do you? But by looking at YouTube, you can see the differences in how it's used and how it sounds. Let's see. All right, one more.
React to that. How do you make sure that you're not just chasing after an audience?
How do you find a dinosaur?
All right, so you can see the mix of the way people do it, but very often in conversations, people are using the connected speech. Okay, the next one I want to do is cramming. So what does cramming mean? So cramming has a few different meanings, but one of them is to study intensively over a short period of time just before an exam. I'm sure many of you have done this, have crammed. But cram also means to stuff into something, completely fill something, crowd something. You can cram things into your bag. So I like YouGlish because you can hear, sorry if the sound's been in and out on this, you can hear and see how language is actually used by native speakers. Not just me, but thousands of them. So how language is used. This is a word I want to teach you. Collocation. A collocation. Could you write that down? Yes, I could. So you can see some familiar, I'm pretty sure it's 2 L's. Co, right? Co-ed, cooperate, cooperation, together. And then location, the place, located. So a collocation, these are words that are often used together. So let's look at cramming and see some collocations and how it's used.
Cramming this entire mechanism into a camera would be pretty absurd. The best thing to do would
and cramming in a lot of things
Cramming it
to
all
keep you busy.
in, yeah.
Right?
Not alive and not awake, and I was just cramming them into shoes, and a lot of my standing postures would bring foot cramps and genuine foot pain. So
She's
now
fantastic.
I like
If you like yoga,
to
check out her
integrate
videos.
a little yoga.
It was like cramming for a test.
All right. right, so that's cramming. So if you come across a new vocabulary word and you want to see how it's being used, this is a great way to do that. Next, I'm going to give you an idiom. Kind of get a grip. What does get a grip mean? Get a grip. Get a grip means to keep or recover one's self-control. You're out of control. You're freaking out. Get a grip. Let's see how it's used.
It doesn't get a grip on you. You don't follow it. You don't smoke the cigarette.
And she was like, get a grip.
Every single day, you've got to get a grip of every single level. And
for a few days and just kind of try to get a grip.
We can start to get a grip on our spending.
That we barely see on the earth, and it's tough to sort of get a grip on.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's some examples of get a grip. All right, that's a wrap. Look it up on YouGlish. That's a wrap.